This is 1 Corinthians 7:39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord Yahawashi. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and the like-minded brothers. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shuwab Amawan back at you with another lesson. All right. And going into the title, for she is undefiled. All right. I mean, Salat, you know what? I actually put undefiled when it should have been defiled. I got to switch that up. So, Salaki, I don't even know why it came out undefiled. All right. But, can I switch that from here? That's right. I'll fix it as soon as I'm done with the lesson. All right. So going back to it. All right. For she is defiled. All right. Is the actual title of the lesson. All right. Somehow it came out undefiled. All right. So what I just want to get into is a quick hit real quick. Just a quick lesson on this this video I came across on Instagram, which I'm gonna play right now, and then I grab a couple of scriptures and close out. All right.
Word from the wise on some real shit now. Let's be honest. When you're with them, they miserable, right? They're not happy. Oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. They think the grass is green on the other side. So what they do, they go to the other side. By this time, you done gone, right? You're making a life, living life, loving life, and doing everything you've been doing. All right? Yeah, a motherfucker be down on his luck sometime, right? Hey, I've been known to fuck up. I'll fail you. You know what I'm talking about? But when they go over there and they realize that grass ain't greener over yonder, and then they look over at you and you done straighten your shit up, right? You on top again. Ain't no going backwards. It's over with. Don't fumble a good motherfucker because he's down on his luck. Because I'm going to tell you something. That motherfucker won't get up. And when it does, you're going to wish you was there.
And that's facts. And he Jake too. You can tell he Jake through spirit. All right. So yeah, going back to the first precept that I brought out in 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. All right. A woman is to be bound to her husband, right, as long as he lives. All right. But if her husband be dead, she's at liberty to marry to whom she will. All right. So she can't leave her husband unless her husband dies. Okay. That's the only way a woman can be, could go on and move on to another man, or if he gives her a bill of divorce. All right. And also, according to the way the law was set up, all right, if a woman had a husband and he died, right, but he didn't have a legacy, all right, she was to marry her brother to be able to carry on that legacy, you see, which I'll grab that real quick. This is she was spit in his face, KJV.
The King James Version uses spit in his face to show extreme disrespect. It's used to describe Jesus being mocked, as seen in Matthew chapters 26 and 27. The Old Testament also uses it, like in Numbers chapter 12, to show deep shame.
This is and she must marry his brother if he, KJV. Damn, how does it go? There you go.
That phrase refers to the law of levirate marriage in Deuteronomy chapter 25.
Yeah, so this is Deuteronomy 25, And yeah, this is Deuteronomy 25:5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no children, right, no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, all right, showing you that sex is marriage, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders, and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him, and if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and lose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto the man that will not build up his brother's house. All right, so if a woman didn't have a child with the man that died, right, like we just read, one of her brother will have to take over to continue on his legacy. All right, and if he didn't want to, this is what will eventually happen according to the law. All right, so again, a woman cannot move on unless her husband dies or he gives her a bill of divorce. Okay, so you women, all right, that have men, especially that know this truth and dealt with a man in this truth, you are bound to that man, all right, all the days of your life, as long as he is alive. Okay, now going back to what that guy was saying, the brother was saying, right, that these women want to try to move on where the grass is greener. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter. Okay, and what does it tell you about, letting go of a woman and her coming back to you? It's not, it's wicked to do that, man, because the woman is unclean. She's defiled, right? So this is the law of divorce, Deuteronomy 24:1. When a man has taken a wife and married her, and it comes to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he has found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorce and give it to her in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement, then give it to her in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house. Or if the latter husband die, which took to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, right, which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. You see, so a man is not supposed to take back a woman if she leaves him and she goes and sleeps with another man. You see, because she is defiled at the end of the day. Okay, it's an abomination. All right, and not only that, you're not supposed to pollute, all right, the land, all right, as the scriptures tell you. All right, and most of these women, pollute the land through whoredom. All right, let me grab that real quick. I believe that's in this is I want to say is this is it Jeremiah? Yeah, Jeremiah 3:1. It says, they say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, and that was speaking about our people polluting, being a whore onto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because the Lord looks at us as his wife, and we were being a whore by worshiping these other gods, you see. So here it was that, you know, our people went off, and the Lord allowed us to return back to him, or at least they tried to, you see, and they were, you know, being a harlot, basically doing that. All right. But the point is that the Lord is telling you, if a man puts away his wife and she go from him and becomes another man's, all right, she's not supposed to return back onto him. All right. And you as a man is not supposed to take her back. All right. Because she is defiled, you see. And you got people that do that all day long, man. And that's what causes whoredom in the land. All right. These women just think that they could just go, you know, have sex with whoever they want. All right. And go and return back onto you like it's nothing. See, you're an abomination. Both of you are an abomination to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. As a matter of fact, let's grab this. This is Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 23, I want to say. Ecclesiasticus 23 and yeah, this is 23 and let's grab it from 18. It says, "A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness, the walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins." All right. And at the end of the day, you know, we have broke that wedlock, all right, with the Lord by worshiping these other gods, all right, doing all types of wickedness behind the Lord's back. All right, which you never doing it behind the Lord's back. All right, the Lord constantly sees what's being done and what's going on. All right, it says, "Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Behold all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. He knew all things ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspected not, he shall be taken. Thus shall it also thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. For first she has disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly she has trespassed against her own husband, and thirdly she has played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man." You see, she shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. You see, but the point is, all right, that, you know, the same way we break wedlock with the Lord, all right, and we think that the Lord, you know, is not remembering our sins or seeing us, right? It goes for the same thing as a woman that thinks that she can't be seen, you know, breaking wedlock amongst a man, you see, because the Lord is constantly watching. You see, the eyes of the Lord is upon the sinful kingdom, beholding the good and the evil. So you can't run away from the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because he knows all your thoughts. He knows your true intents. You see, even the ones that you try to hide, even when you try to hide your sin, the Lord is constantly watching you, man. Everything is being recorded. Okay. So it goes for the same as a woman that breaks wedlock with her husband. All right. She and she goes and bring heir by another, meaning that she goes and have children by another. And these women do that all day long. You see. So once a woman goes and cheats on you and and goes and deals with another man, you men, simple ass niggas, ain't supposed to take them back, man. You're supposed to kick them to the curb and leave them there. And that's it. All right. Go and be with another woman, because at the end of the day, there's plenty of them waiting for you. Okay. So, you know, again, she becomes defiled. And Salaki, Shalom, Malak, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua Brakatah. Salaki for the title. It's supposed to be for she is defiled. I don't know why it came out undefiled and I didn't realize it, but I'm gonna fix that after this. All right. So again, you know, the woman is defiled, okay, when she goes and sleeps with another man and you take her back. Okay. Why? Because first she has disobeyed the law of the Most High. Okay. And secondly, she has trespassed against her own husband. And thirdly, she has played a whore in adultery and brought children by another man. So that's 3 sins committed all in one. Wham, bam, thank you, Tam. You see? So, you know, this is why you as men, all right, cannot deal with women once they go and sleep with another man, because it's polluting the land with true whoredom. Okay, which at the end of the day, you know, none of these women that we deal with, you know, we are their true husbands, man, because they all had husbands before us. You know, your true husband is usually the first husband that you deal with, unless he passes away. You see, but after that, all right, you know, going back to the law, the first man you sleep with is supposed to be the man that you're supposed to stick with for the rest of your days. All right, you're not supposed to move on from that relationship. Okay, unless that bill of divorce is given, okay, or her husband dies. All right. And, you know, we just read, according to the law, when the woman's husband dies and he never brought in children, all right, her brother is supposed to take, his brother is supposed to take over the relationship. All right. And supposed to drop, you know, make a baby in the legacy of his name. Okay. And if he doesn't, all right, then the woman has the right to go to the elders and bring it forth to the elders, and she's able to loose the foot, all right, loose the shoes off his foot and then spit in his face, all right, because he didn't continue that legacy, you see. But see, this was ancient customs, all right. But you know, today's days, all right, we are supposed to rehearse the righteous acts, all right. Just because it was ancient customs doesn't mean that you as a woman is not supposed to play your position and your part. You see, you're supposed to do exactly how the scriptures tell you to do these things, man. You're supposed to be, you know, loyal to your husband, be submissive to your husbands, like Titus 2:5 tells you, you know, be a keeper at home, you know, teaching the children, being a Proverbs 31 woman, you know, being able to, use your hands for making food and, you know, making garments, you know, sewing, you know, these are things that you're supposed to do as a woman. Okay. So let me just grab, let me go back to 1 Corinthians 7, and then I'll pretty much end it, because like I said, it was a quick little topic that I ran into. All right. So this is 1 Corinthians 7:1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. You see, and it's not that you can't deal with women, but Paul was basically telling you what, man, to not deal with a woman for a reason, because you shall have trouble in the flesh. Okay, like it says a little bit down. Okay, let me grab that. It says, where is it at? Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is 28, right? I'll take it from 27. It says, art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. All right, so if you got a woman, all right, hey, stick with it. You're supposed to stick with your woman. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you, you see. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, and it remaineth that they that have wives be as though they had none, you see. And you want to be in that type of spirit, man. You know, if you're one that hasn't dealt with a woman and you haven't had luck, hey, it's all right. The Lord's keeping you like that, because the Lord keeping you in straits with him. He wants you to attend to the Lord without distraction. And most of these women are distractions, man, and vice versa for you women, all right, that are alone in this truth. You know, to have a man is going to be a distraction, you see, because then you're going to try to find a way to please your husband and do that instead of pleasing YAHAWAH'S, and vice versa to the woman. Okay, to the man. You know, you go and deal with a woman, all right, now she's a distraction, and you figuring out ways, cares of the life and cares of your wife, all right, and you're trying to figure out how to basically make her happy and please her instead of pleasing YAHAWAH'S. So there's a reason why the Lord told you to do that, man. All right, because you're gonna have trouble in the flesh. All right, and that's probably best why you deal with no woman at all. Okay. Now let's go back to, I wanted to go up a little bit. What was it that I wanted to bring out? Oh, back at 1, right? So it is good that a man not touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. You see, and this is why you don't really, you know, deal with these women, all right? Because a lot of these women already had husbands, man. You see, so then when you go out there and you're dealing with them, you're really, you know, committing adultery on a certain level without you realizing, you know. And you know, none of these women, you know, most of these women ain't virgins. You know, there's some out there that are virgins, all right, but for the most part, none of them are virgins. Okay, so when you deal with these women, you're going off, really, you know. But hey, you got to pray on that. That if you meet a woman, all right, and you're in this truth, that you know, through the Spirit, both of y'all serve the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and ask for forgiveness, all right. And then from that point on, all right, you coming into this truth and her being into this truth, you stay loyal to each other, all right, according to the law, okay? And if they want to depart, all right, a woman can't depart from a man, but if she decides to depart from a man, all right, she can only deal with a man that's according to the word, all right, according to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay? Like it tells you here in verse 10, it says, I'll take it from 8. It says, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. All right. So if it's killing you and you need to be around somebody, it's better that you do that. All right. And marry someone and stick with them. All right. Than to go out there and commit whoredom. Right. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord Yahweh Shai, let not the wife depart from the husband. Okay, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried. You see, so if you depart from your husband, he's still alive, you just deal with him and let her remain you don't deal with nobody, but you stay unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband and let the husband put away his wife. You see, so you can only go back to him. You see, as long as you don't deal with another man, you're supposed to stay single and go back to your husband, be reconciled with him, unless he comes back and he gives you that bill of divorce, right? And it says, and the woman which has a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. All right. So, you know, even though they might not be, you know, vice versa on both ends, one of the other might not be, you know, sanctified, right? They might not be believers. All right. But you can sanctify your husband or your wife, all right, by you sticking to him, you know, praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah that, you know, that he or she, all right, comes into this truth. All right. And you can save them at the end through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. And let me see. There was one more I wanted in here. All right. I read it earlier. Yeah. 39. Again, I'm going to read it and I'll pretty much end it with that. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to marry, all right, to whom she will. Only in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you see. So only can she move on to another man. All right. And she can only deal with a man in the Lord, you see, if the husband dies or the husband puts her with a bill of divorce. All right. You cannot take a wife back. Okay. If she done went and slept with another nigga. All right. Now she kind of trying to creep back into your life. All right. Because the grass wasn't greener, like that guy said, man. So now she want to come back into your life and try to fuck it all up. You see, because that's what most of these women are going to do anyway, is try to mess it all up. Okay. But, you know, the main part is to basically be dolo, man, in this truth. All right. Because that's what, you know, has you attend to the Lord without distraction. I'll read this and then I'll close it out. It says, but if I would have you without carefulness, he that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord Yahweh Shai, how he may please the Lord Yahweh Shai. For he that is married careth of the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord Yahweh Shai, that he may be holy both in body, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. And this I speak for you, your own profit, Not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, that ye may attend upon the Lord Yahawashi without distraction. You see? So that's pretty much why you don't really deal with women. You know, you want to be able to attend to Yahawashi without distraction. All right. But if you have to, you know, as a man, you know, if you have to deal with a woman, or a woman has to deal with a man, all right, let them join together, right? And keep it, you know, holy according to the law. You see, can't be just jumping around and sleeping with people and, all right, this nigga ain't working out for me in the way that I thought it was gonna work out, and then you think you could go run around and go deal with the next man. You know what I'm saying? You going way off. The Lord gonna have a judgment for that ass. You see, unless you repent from it. Okay, but you know, that's pretty much the point. Just wanted to bring that out through the spirit, like I said. And like I said, Salaki, for the title was supposed to be for She Is Defiled. I don't know how it became out undefiled, which I'm gonna fix that up now. All right, through the spirit. So Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom, Malak, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah.